Do you ever find yourself people-pleasing? Saying yes to things for people, or saying yes to things from people that you'd rather not? Today, I'd like to talk about this idea of what is people-pleasing really all about. And I hope to encourage you to rethink, what are you doing it for? What are you getting out of it? And who wins? Of course, if this video is useful for you, make sure you drop me a like or react, and share with me in the comments your thoughts about the role that people-pleasing has played in your life, whether you'd like to keep it, how it helps if you do, and if not, what would you like to be doing instead? Peter Shepard says, a relationship based on people-pleasing is unbalanced and an unnecessary sacrifice of integrity that will eventually break down. And I happen to agree that I really want you to think about, why is it that we people please? So much of it comes from our primitive biology, from our upbringing in a tribe, where getting kicked out of the tribe or losing status within a tribe could be seriously detrimental to our health and well-being. We could get kicked out of the tribe and have to live or perhaps die on our own. The trouble is, it's still with us today, even though we don't have to be as tribal now. We're not as reliant on the tribe for our survival as we once were. I want you to think about if you've ever been people-pleasing, if you've ever been saying yes to taking on an extra work or doing an extra chore or helping out in a way that detracts from your life, that takes away from what you'd rather be doing. Now, when we talk about it that way, it can sound selfish, right? We want to be kind, to be generous, to be supportive. And those are all good things. My concern is, of course, that when we're doing it to get those things, when it's coming from a place of lack, when we're not already feeling and knowing to our core that we are kind and that we are generous and that we are supportive, then it wears away at us. We might say yes the first time when we really do want to, but then maybe they'll ask us to do that same thing again. Maybe it's something simple like looking after the kids, or picking somebody up, or dropping something off, or doing some task. And if we don't present our truth to the world, if we don't state what we actually feel, chances are we're doing that because we're worried about what the other person will think about us, or how that they will feel, or how we will feel if they are unhappy with our response. Are you obliging or going along with or taking on, overcommitting to more things than you can handle so that you can be seen to be being kind, to be generous, to be supportive, to be giving? Do you ever find yourself feeling any resentment about that choice? There's this idea that if you want something done, you give it to a busy person. And I see so many of my clients and so many of you out there in the world being the busy person, the person who nurtures everybody else in your world, who takes care of everything else and just gets it done because you have to. But you don't have to. And so often I see so many people doing this again and again and again, and giving and giving and giving, and in the way, losing their own sense of identity, finding themselves drained and even resentful for having to do the work because it leaves them with no time, with no energy, with no resources to care for themselves. I see so many of my clients sacrificing their health and well-being for everyone else around them. And in the end, I think that is simply a losing proposition for you, the person doing the pleasing, and also for the people that you're doing it for. So for yourself and for them. Because in the end, if we're doing things so that people will think well of us, people will like us, people will love us, then the trouble is that they don't actually get to do that. They're only getting to like the version of us that is people-pleasing, that is doing those things for them. They're not truly getting to see us, and we're not truly getting to enjoy and be present in that emotion, because it's not authentic to us. It's not really who we are. It's just the person we're pretending to be at the cost of our own well-being. Really want to invite you to stop people-pleasing. Stop doing that from a place of lack, where that you aren't enough, or that you need their approval or validation to feel good about yourself. And you'll know you're doing this, of course, if you're ever worried about their response, right? If you can say no with grace and ease, and it doesn't matter whether they like that or don't like that, then chances are, because if you already know that you are worthy, that you are filled with love, that you are generous when you can be, then you're coming from truth. Let's flip it around. How does it feel, on the other hand, to be people-pleased? Have you ever found that people will do things for you or take on things that you'd rather that they didn't? They might try and help out just to be generous, or to give a gift, or to be thoughtful. And isn't that lovely? I'm thinking about my own experience here, and the experience of so many of my weight loss clients, thinking about they'll go to someone's house, and of course then the host will provide a cake or some biscuits or some morning tea or some unhealthy food that perhaps my client doesn't want, that you don't want, right? It's like, oh, but it's your birthday, it's a special occasion, I want to be generous, I want to be kind to you. But the truth is, if we're accepting that, and we're doing it in a way that undermines our health and well-being, we're having, oh, I've just eaten, or I really hadn't planned for that, I didn't want that, then we're kind of sacrificing ourselves for them, right? They're giving it not for us, because if it was for us, then if they knew, right, this is where it comes to advocacy, we have to tell people what matters to us and why it's important. But if we can speak our truth into the world, and if they really care about us, they really want to be generous and loving and kind, then they would do things that are in alignment with our goals, that are for us. So often people please for themselves. It's to make themselves feel good, because they're not feeling good enough already, so they have to do for others. So often being people pleased also doesn't help. No one can validate you enough to make it last. I mean, outside approval feels good, and it's nice to have. But if we don't have it from ourselves, if we don't self-validate and have self-worth, then it's going to be fleeting. We're going to be chasing it all of the time. True self-worth comes with the ability to give ourselves that validation at any time. We can give it to ourselves. Now, does this mean that we should never help people, or we should never give? No, of course not. Being generous is wonderful, but the trick is to do it from abundance, from a place of having sufficient love and care and time and energy and resources to give selflessly, to give generously. I like to think about this as giving from abundance, from the overflow. If you think about filling our own tanks or filling our own cup first, then when we have excess, we can give selflessly and generously. If people really liked us or really cared about us, they wouldn't want to be taking from us when doing so drains us. It makes us feel worse, makes us feel resent. Resentment is a poison to a relationship. So we can keep faking it. We can keep saying yes when we don't mean it. We can keep trying to people please to make us feel better. Or we can speak our truth into the world. We can build our own self-esteem and self-confidence and self-care so that we have the abundance, so that when we say yes to others, when we give, we can do so totally generously and totally selflessly. And when we can't, we can say no and maintain our integrity and our self-respect. I really want you to think about how this could apply in your life. Are you people-pleasing? Are you accepting being people-pleased? Could you change that? Could you practice with kindness and with gentleness? Saying no to others' needs and saying yes to yours. So that when you do say yes, you can give from abundance. I want to finish with another quote today. Let me just bring it up. Don't be afraid of losing people. Be afraid of losing yourself by trying to please everyone around you. You can never be everything to everybody. But if you can be true to you, if you can be authentic to yourself, then you have so much more to give. You can be a gift to the world. It is inspiring and amazing to be around someone who truly know themselves and to be cared for and to be seen as who we really are. I invite you to contemplate this week, and I encourage you to let me know in the comments, how will you say yes to you this week? And how will you work towards that win-win abundance? If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified of every new video that it comes up. And think about joining my email list at livemorelife.com.au so you get notified of all of my free trainings. Also got some free gifts onto you. And of course, if you need help saying no or bringing this abundance and self-worth into your life, then get in touch for a free mini consultation. And maybe we can work together to help you do that. Have an amazing day. Live from abundance. Speak your truth in the world. Stop people pleasing. Talk to you soon. If you want more help transitioning into the life that you want to be living, rather than the life that you have, then remember, you can always sign up for a free exploratory coaching session with me on my website. Go to livemorelife.com.au and click on free exploratory session. Fill in the form and I'll be in touch to help you out. Talk to you soon.